I revered him. Now, I never feared him or had any reason to fear him because I knew beyond the shadow of any doubt he would never do anything to harm me. And this is true also with our Father, Abba Yahweh. He would never do anything to harm us. He loves us. Now, there's one aspect of fear that I would share, and that is that I certainly feared doing anything that would ever displease my daddy. You know, I would never want to do anything to displease him or to make him ashamed of me. That was something that I feared doing, you might say. I don't even know if fear fits there, but it's certainly something that, with a passion, you know, I would never want to do anything to displease Abba Father. I want to put him first. I want to please him. I want him to recognize the fact that I love him and I treasure him. I revere him. So there's no reason to fear Yahweh, but we should certainly fear doing anything that would disappoint him. And one other point I would make is this. To anyone who is not making Elohim number one on a list of one in their lives, to anyone who is in love with the things of this world more than the things of Elohim, they should fear Yahweh, not Satan. A lot of people are afraid of the devil. Oh, this evil, you know, it's scary, you know. The movies, you know, that they make are full of fear for evil. Should never fear Satan, but rather Yahweh. Satan's been defeated in the day of Yahweh. Now I'm talking about people who they don't love Yahweh and they don't have Yeshua as their Adon, their master. When the 7-year tribulation comes and the day of the wrath of Yahweh and the day of the wrath of the Lamb, that is something truly to be feared by those who do not love him. Now, all that being said, let's take a look at the Odiot. Yareh is spelled Yod Resh Aleph. Yod, picture of an arm and a hand. Has to do with work, what we make. Has to do with actions, what we do. It has to do with worshiping. Then we have Resh, picture of a man's head. It has to do with who your headship is and what your thoughts are on. Then we have Aleph, picture of an ox's head. It has to do with being yoked to Abba Father, and it has to do with being taught by Abba Father. Now in Genesis chapter 20, verse 8, we read, Abimelech told his servants how Elohim stopped him from committing a grave sin. And the men were Yareh. Most English Bibles will say that they were afraid. But the truth is that they were filled with reverence for Elohim. They were concerned about being sure that their work and actions fully took into account their relationship with Elohim. They weren't just, Abimelech tells him this story about how Yahweh kept him from committing a grave sin. And, then you read that they were afraid. What does that mean? No, they were Yareh. They were filled with reverence for Elohim and concerned about their own walk with him. So, wherever you see scriptures that say, fear Yahweh, it truly means that you are to revere him, that you are to be sure that your work and your actions make a full display of your reverence for him, that Your worship is of Him and Him alone. And that instead of thinking about yourself or someone else, you are thinking about Elohim. Elohim is a term that refers to the Father, His Son, and His Ruach HaKodesh, His Kodesh Spirit. So, like I said, instead of thinking about yourself or someone else in any kind of a situation, you should be thinking about Elohim at all times. Now, let's look at this other one I've been asked quite a bit about, and that is Yahweh of Hosts. We see Yahweh of Hosts in the Word. The Hallelujah Scriptures says Yahweh of Hosts. Even the Amplified Bible says Yahweh of Hosts. But the NIV says not hosts, but Almighty. And I like that one much better. You know, a lot of people like to put the NIV down. We see Yahweh of Hosts in the New International Version. And for years, I always said the NIV gives one of the best English interpretations of what the original Aramaic Hebrew says. And that was my favorite version until the Hallelujah Scriptures came around. And if you don't have Hallelujah Scriptures, check out underneath this video in the More Info section, there's a link seen beneath any one of my videos that will take you over to HallelujahScriptures.com. Now, you know, that's all English. However, Elohim wrote Tsabah. Yahweh Tsabah. Now, Tsabah is Strong's H6635, and it's been interpreted into English as, according to their armies, Exodus 6:26, against them in battle, Joshua 22:33. This is just one word, Tsabah. All her host, Jeremiah 51:3, all the host, Deuteronomy 4:19, an army, 2 Chronicles 26:13, war, Job 10:17, the time appointed, Daniel 10:1. And the list goes on and on and on. But those are all strange. Sabah is spelled Sad, or you could say Tzadi, Beit, Aleph. Tzad, picture of a path, the way. It has to do with hunting or chasing, and with righteousness. Tzaddik, that's the word for the righteous one. Then we have Beit, picture of a house. Has to do with family. Has to do with Yeshua. And then Aleph, picture of the ox head. Once again, it has to do with being yoked to Abba Father Yahweh, and it has to do with being taught by Abba Father Yahweh.
Call from
Patty Ernest. Yahweh. So, Yahweh of Hosts or Yahweh